In today's review, we've got the W7 digital wireless backup camera kit from Auto-Vox. Auto-Vox sent me this kit to review, so without further ado, let's open this box and see what we get inside. Opening the box, we're greeted with manuals, and when we take a look at them, we've got 3 different manuals, one in French, one in German, and one in English. Great, everything you need. Alright, now let's get into the main box itself. Lots of protective packaging, as you can see, lots of foam here, and under the top layer of foam, and well packed with all this around the edge of the 5-inch screen, as this is, you actually get the reversing display here. I'll just take that out and we'll get rid of the box. And camera cable through there, let's take that off. Okay, so here you go. Let's just take that protective screen cover there off. Not quite as satisfying as an Apple iPhone, but then again it doesn't cost what an iPhone does. On this side we've got the limited buttons. You don't need to do much. Menu up and down allows you to adjust the contrast and the settings. You've got your antenna connection here, very straightforward, and the only other thing of note is the actual connector on the back, and this is for your mount. Okay, let's see everything else in the box. So to start with, we've got the power lead and the transmitter for the camera, a couple of cable ties and scotch locks, save you looking for them, power lead for the display and the antenna, and that's the camera, and you also get a windscreen mount. Right, let's start with the windscreen and dash mount. Relatively straightforward. This bit here with the pegs on it, that goes into the back of the display. You just slot that in, lock it in, and that's it, done. Nice and straightforward. There's plenty of adjustment, so depending on which way up you want to mount it, you can mount it on the dash or the windscreen. Just turn that back around, and then if I take this off, you'll be able to see this better. On the back here you've got the standard knurl ring you get with TomToms and other things. It allows you to slacken or tighten the actual screen to keep it steady. Protective film, which you get on suction cups these days. Just peel it off before you stick it down. Unclick this, and then you stick it on your dash or your windscreen. Press it down, nice and secure. And to take it off, unclick that, pull that little tab, and it comes off. Okay, next up, let's look at the power feed for the camera. Relatively straightforward, only 2 wires, 12 volts and 0 volts, or ground. And this bit here is the transmitter, that's the antenna, and be careful of that. And if you look here, it says 12 volts in, video out, and camera connection at that end. This is your power filter, helps keep your camera safe. Okay, we've got, by the looks of this, a cap and an antenna. So these are for our display here. To take the antenna and just screw that straight in, nice and easy. 2.4 gigahertz transmission with this little antenna here. So there's no wire to the camera at the back, it's all done by a radio. If you're not using the unit, you're going to be putting it in your bag or whatever, you can always just put this cap on there just to protect the connector. Also thrown in the bag, a couple of Scotch locks and a couple of cable ties. This is the power lead for our display. Slide that out of there. Oh, caught there. Now, this unit here, if you have a look here, the rating on it is rated at 3 amps. So it's not just for charging the unit itself, or running the unit itself, you've also got a charger available for anything else you need to charge, like your phone. If you look here, there's actually a marking on the connector and on the actual socket, so you have to line those up in order to plug them in. Can't get it wrong. As I mentioned earlier, there's that extra USB socket for charging your phone, and there's even a charging LED to indicate that it's plugged in and working as well. Moving on, we've got the camera itself. So this is waterproof, so it's IP68, 110 degree field of vision, so it's quite wide angle. 3M sticky adhesive pads front and back for mounting behind your number plate, and there's your hinge there. Only goes in 2 directions, there's no left right swivel, it's only up and down, so just be careful that you don't twist this. It won't go that way. If you need to change the angle, what you're really going to need to do is use the mounting bracket and turn it slightly there. It's designed to just go in that orientation like that. Peel this film off the camera and get a better look. It's a 5-element lens. Right, there's that transmitter again. Let me just show you this bit. Okay, you can clearly see there's a camera connector on that one end there. And if you look, there's actually a notch and a groove in there, so they only fit together one way. You can't get it wrong. Simple. Easiest thing to do when wiring this up, if you look at the manual, actually suggests you just wire it up straight across the reversing light. That way the camera comes on when you stick the car in reverse. This is relatively simple but brilliant. It means the camera is not transmitting unless the car is actually in reverse. When you put the camera on the back of the car, don't do it as I've done just here, because I've just tucked it into the number plate to show you where roughly it would go. I'm obscuring part of my number plate, don't do that yourself. When it comes to the screen at the front, you'll see when it's powered up, 2 red lights there to actually indicate it's powered up and ready and waiting. The screen is off by default. There's a reason for that. The camera is not transmitting. This is brilliant because unless you've actually got the car in reverse, you don't end up with the screen on permanently on the dash. You don't need it on. If you need to adjust the reversing guides, as you see there, the red, yellow and green, you can do that with the menu button and the up-down arrows on the side. As you can see on the BMW screen there, just using that as a comparison for the actual camera, give you an idea as to what's going on. There's a nice clear view. It's not too bad a display, and when you stick the car in reverse, and only when, then the display comes on. It stays off at all other times. Okay, so let's give you a quick example and compare it to the BMW reversing sensors here, and as you can see, even if you didn't have the sensors, you'd know when to stop. Let's do that as a close-up for you. I've muted the sensors this time, and again, even without the sensors, just using the camera, you can clearly see when it's time to stop. And to prove it, I'll get out and show you where I am. That's how close the camera shows you. Remember, it's just above the number plate. That's brilliant. 12 inches from the vehicle or the wall, or excellent. Perfectly stopped. We'll transmission range on the cameras up to 100 meters, so this is good for vans, trucks, cars. It's brilliant for that. My only criticism, and it is the only one I can find with the unit, for the cost, it's £101 currently on Amazon. The resolution of the screen is only 480 by 272 pixels, so it's not HD. Other than that, brilliant.